Hi and welcome back to our third week preview. I have Mr. Billy here. He's going to help me out while I read. So we're going to talk about Lovey. She's the first horse that we take a look at each week. Next week, we will be showing you where Lovey is in her round pen work, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Specifically, the consistency in her gait or lack of, change of direction, how well she handles that, our canter departs and whether she picks up the correct lead or not, and most of all, her mindset throughout all of this. I demonstrate with Lovey where I begin with each and every horse. You guys see that repeated every week. We work in the round pen. When we work in the round pen with each horse, we do the same things, and we're always looking for quality and for it to get better. Quality of movement, quality of the mind. So next week I'll be demonstrating where I begin with Lovey in the center. We're connected and hooked on, and then how we work into a big walk out on the rail so she can gain strength and balance through her straightness training, and longitudinal stretching, how important that is. And I'll talk about whether or not she does that, and if she doesn't have a lot of longitudinal stretching, why? Because again, everything's about the mind. If the mind's not relaxed, the body's not going to be relaxed. We then demonstrate our progress into the trot work and the canter. I talk about how important focus is for the horse. When a horse is connected to your subtle aids, which for us is all about the power of our intention, our mind, how clear we are, and our energy, the energy that we feel within, like the tempo of the horse, as well as the action that we take to help that energy be really clear. And it's also about the discipline of the mind, the discipline of the horse's mind. How focused are they in the work? Are they looking around? Are they trying to stop and smell manure? Are they distracted? Are they frustrated, throwing a tantrum? All of these things can happen in the beginning of the work. You know, Lovey's a lot more advanced, and for Lovey, when she started the round pen work and she had no round pen experience, she would lose her mind. So I'd have to put her back online for weeks at a time and then test it loose without holding her hand. So for a lot of people, these horses these off-the-track thoroughbreds are just going to lose their minds in a space like this. So it's a discipline of the mind as far as the level of confidence that they have, focus in you, and of course the work ethic. That, yep, like for Joey, who wants to be lazy, this is what we have to do. This builds character. This builds obedience and discipline. Again, we're always working on the mindset needed for willing partnership, for the horse to want to work with you. And that's the key word here, for the horse to want to work with you. It's not just about the horse doing what you ask and doing it how you want them to do it. It's, do they want to work with you? How does that show up? And I think it's pretty clear in all of our work, all the areas, from the round pen area to the online lunging, to the arena work, to the trail ride, that our horses enjoy our company. And they want to be in that relationship, which is what we're all about. And therefore, it creates and develops that level of joy and exuberance you see in play. And it helps to develop a better work ethic because they want to do the work with you. They want to participate. Because Lovey and I don't work consistently every week, but rather we work on the building blocks of the curriculum, Lovey forgets to follow my lead in the cardio work and she chooses play. You'll see that in the video. Her play is way too strong and her boundaries blurred, which can become dangerous for me, dangerous for anyone. I show you how I handle this, how I correct it and redirect it so she doesn't feel bad about her choices, which were hers, not mine. So she has to also understand she's got a level of responsibility in this work. It's pretty huge, you guys. These animals are amazingly intelligent. Amazingly. Once they start to realize that they're responsible for you, like they are their own herd members out in the wild, or their foals, their newborns, you are protected. There's a whole nother level of safety that we keep trying to demonstrate and promote in our work. It's important at this level of our liberty, Lovey and I, our liberty play, that she understands we have to have a conversation about this before it can happen. So you'll see Lovey's trying to figure out where she is in this work as she's evolving, and she's choosing to play, and it's too rambunctious without boundaries. Those boundaries are blurred. It's too dangerous for me. And then when I go to correct her, hi Bill, I go to correct her, she gets her feelings hurt and takes it very personal. So you'll see how I handle all of that, because she's not the only horse that this will happen to as you continue to evolve. And this is good for Billy, having him here to just stand with me and be with me. So our next video will be about Joey. So next week's video of Joey will be a review of the week prior, so we can see progression as well as where we might get stuck. Joey has been tight, as we talked about in the beginning, both mentally and physically, so helping him stretch and lengthen his stride at the walk is most important for him. Specifically to stretch his hind end. He's just really tight in the hind end. And of course we do chiropractic work, which helps loosen any scar tissue, helps break open the top line. And then it helps us, our suppling exercises help them maintain that. So we're constantly working on Joey learning to stretch and lengthen his stride at the walk. In dressage, we talk about the importance of the free walk. And I'm training your eye to see the free, loose, big walk. So in dressage, the free walk demonstrates the level of relaxation needed to help the horse loosen up his top line, specifically the pole area and the shoulder. The walk is the most important gait and one that gets ignored the most. If the horse's gait is not relaxed at the walk, if it's not lengthened loose, the horse is not stretching and opening up their top line. And when that doesn't happen, the movement's restricted and tight. And it's impossible for a good rider to ride that. I call that the pogo stick. So if the walk isn't really open and loose, and we're starting out slowly at the walk, of course, so the horse doesn't get injured, what I mean is, why start trotting these horses around if they can't even walk correctly? That means they're going to be trotting incorrectly, and you're going to have huge opportunities for damage and lameness. So if the walk isn't good, none of the other gaits are going to be good. So we really focus on the walk, both on the ground and under saddle. Well, hello. It's good for you. Patience is a virtue, and you can't nibble on me. Thank you. You just need to stand here quietly. I look for every opportunity to include my horses in everything I do, and to help them stay present and learn that they're a part of this, and again, the responsibility and the discipline. When you look at my other videos with my schoolmasters like Sundance and Smokey and Legend, I mean, they're practically asleep with nothing on out in a field. And while I'm talking to the camera, and the minute I switch my attention to them, they're right there ready to participate. So it's a mindset. You also get to see Mia with Joey and where she is in her learning and training. So you all will be able to relate to Mia as she comes back to work with me after being away for a year, and really diving in and learning the foundation training program with these, well, 2 of the horses. And she's working with other horses outside the thoroughbreds. But it's really great, so I think a lot of you will be able to relate to Mia. So you get to see where she is. I step in and talk about and show how to clean it up, refine the work, so Mia doesn't keep working harder than Joey or micromanage him. I also explain how important it is to learn to read your horse's expressions during the work. Everything is about developing the mindset. So they'll tell you how they feel, meaning don't just mindlessly keep asking your horse like Joey to pick up a bigger walk and not pay attention to his eyes and how he feels about it, and the rest of the body as well, but the eye most importantly. We also show Joey under saddle. I just call it under saddle. We use bareback pads with Mia riding him and teaching him our foundation training curriculum, which includes the following areas: mounting, suppling while, when we first get on, before we walk off, backing in a frame, so you get to see how stuck he is, as well, and I think he's actually getting better already in this video, as well as working in a figure 8 pattern during the riding. The figure 8 is where we can work on the big free walk, going straight and bending around the corners, half halting into the corners, which also builds more strength and hind end strength and balance, lifting the shoulder, everything needed to continue building strength, balance, and collection, and self-carriage. We also work on the walk to trot transitions. You can see how lazy Joey still is and how tight his transitions are because he stumbles and he's weak, and you get to see all that. Again, it's great training your eye. A big bonus for all of you is to see how we include many of our other horses in our 2-acre training field while I'm filming Mia riding Joey. They represent distraction, number one, and that's great because it helps us build a stronger connection, partnership, and safety, believe it or not. See, I want to invite everything in, but I also want to prepare the horse to be able to handle it. And so when you have all these horses in here, it's a test for Joey. How focused is he on Mia? Is he feeding off the other horses? Is he easily distracted? Because just like trail riding, I don't want to have to be worried about other riders coming up, galloping behind me, or anything else that's going to unnerve my horse or keep them from staying connected to me. So we work on all of that here. And then last but not least, we have Sir William, Billy. Good yawn. Next week's video, Billy shows our progression of where he is in his mind versus in any one area of our work. Meaning, it's kind of a complicated area that I want to talk about. When you guys see this video of Billy's progression, I talk briefly about how we basically spent that week out on the trail. We didn't do any round pen or any lunging or any riding in the arena. And then we show you that 5th day, the end of the week's progression of where his mind is in the round pen, even though we hadn't worked in the round pen for over a week. And the point I'm making is you don't have to do the same thing every time to get the same result. I'm glad that you are feeling so much better about life and more gregarious. So what I'm saying is, once you know what you're really doing and you understand the importance of a curriculum and following a really good method of training, you know where to pick and pull. You can go out on the trail ride if your horse has got a pretty level head, which Billy does, and you feel safe, and you can do your schooling out there, and you can keep building his confidence and his trust and his partnership out there. And then you can come back to this area, which was really bad the week before, where he didn't feel as confident, and you can test it. You don't have to keep working in the round pen to make it better. You don't have to keep working on the trail ride to make it better. When I feel like my horses are actually regressing on the trail because they might be waking up and things are a little too overwhelming for them, I leave that area alone and I work more on the mindset and build things back here. And then I test it out there. That way you're not drilling the horse, you're not making them sour. It's a non-linear approach, and we're very linear as predators. That's just the way we're hardwired, and that's just the nature of the human being. Horses are non-linear, and that's the nature of the horse as well as any prey. So you really have to understand we're taking more of a non-linear approach to this work, just like the horse thinks, and kind of switching your brain about it. It's not so direct all the time. You can see in this video that Billy is more awake and tuned in and connected. His connection shows up in his brightness and his ability with his perky ears to keep focus on Mia. He is, however, still unsure, and he's quick to leave, often. But Mia shows you how she handles this and how she brings him back. So he's a lot more alert and present in this video. It's just really great to see the progress. I also talk about, in this video, both Billy and Joey's pot bellies. And I talk about the differences, meaning why each horse has a pot belly, it's not for the same reason. And it's just training your eye on, as the weeks progress, both with the nutrition and the chiropractic work, as well as the level of training that we're doing, the amount of suppling and the amount of self-carriage that we're building, the stretching that we're doing. It's just pulling the body together beautifully. I think, again, with Billy in the round pen, most of you will relate the most to Billy, being either checked out and shut down and afraid, or, you know, overreacts a little bit. So it's great. I think he does a good job helping you guys. So thank you. May you always be one with your horse, and I look forward to your comments.